A mochi moment from Sadie, who writes, I'm not crying, you're crying. This is what I said during my first appointment with my physician at Mochi, because I didn't have to convince him I needed a GLP-1. He understood, and I felt supported, not judged. I came for the weight loss and stayed for the empathy. Thanks, Sadie. I'm Myra Ahmed, founder of Mochi Health. To find your Mochi moment, visit joinmochi.com.
Sadie is a Mochi member compensated for her story.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Way podcast, where we learn in English, poco a poco, or podcast by podcast. Today, we are looking at a C1 grammar structure called the cleft sentence. Now, we're going to get into what it is, how to use it, and why it's so important for the C1 speaking and writing exam. Okay, let's get into it.
Bienvenido al podcast de The Way. Si quieres aprender inglés y hablar con confianza, estás en el sitio correcto. Hemos ayudado a miles de personas como tú a mejorar su inglés y alcanzar sus objetivos. Visita nuestra web theway.es para conocer más sobre nuestros cursos online desde A2 hasta C1 y descubre cómo podemos ayudarte a avanzar en tu aprendizaje. Además, si necesitas una certificación oficial, también ofrecemos la opción de realizar el examen Language Pair cómodamente desde casa.
Before we get started, I just want to let you know that if you want to practice your English and you specifically want to focus on speaking, if you go to our The Way website, you can look that we have a new one-to-one clase particular speaking activity. So you can go and look at our courses if you want to improve your English in general. But if you only want to improve your speaking, then I highly recommend that you go and have a look at our website. It's €10 for 45 minutes. That's a bargain, right? Okay. Besides that, let's get into what a cleft sentence is. So, a cleft sentence is when we take a normal sentence and we divide it into two parts, right? So, cleft means one aspect or one part and another part. And how I introduced it to my students this week is in English, the top of your mouth is called the palate. And I think in Spanish it's the paladar. Let me just check. Yes, I'm correct. It's the paladar. Now, when there is a problem, when a baby is born and the mouth is in two halves, right? It's split and it's called a cleft palate or paladar hendido, creo. So when we have this problem, it's called a cleft palate because it's in one half and the second half. And the same in English when you look at a sentence. So the sentence is going to be in one part and then in the second part. We use this specifically for emphasis when you want to be a little bit more dramatic about something. It's like you putting the highlight or the spotlight on the first part of the sentence because that is the most dramatic part of the sentence. Okay, now let's look at an example. A normal sentence would be, for example, yesterday I met Sarah, or I met Sarah yesterday. Now, in a cleft sentence, what we want to focus on is, or depending what we want to focus on, we change the structure and we start with, for example, it, or what, or all. It depends on the sentence. Let's start with it. So, for example, you want to focus on Sarah, then you can say, it was Sarah that I met yesterday. Or if you want to focus on the time, you could say, it was yesterday that I met Sarah. Now, if you can feel the difference, the information is the same, but the focus is different. And that is the power of the cleft sentence. And this is very important for C1. If you do not use C1 in the C1 exam, it doesn't matter if it's Cambridge or Language Cert or IELTS or whatever. If you are not using cleft sentences in your speaking or writing, then you do not have a C1 level. That's the truth, right? You either can or you can't. Now, it doesn't have to be complicated. A lot of books and a lot of online pages show a very complicated way to focus on the cleft sentences. And that's not what I want to focus on. I want to keep it simple and I want to keep it easy so that it's easy for you to remember. Now, I mentioned that it can start with it. For example, it was yesterday that I met Sarah. But you can also start with what. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples that you can finish the sentence. So if you, today has a worksheet. So if you go onto the website of Dewey, dewey.s, you will be able to download the worksheet, okay? So let's get into some sentences that you can practice using, and you will see that it's actually quite easy. So I have some sentences here that you can finish writing, or you can just finish speaking them. I'm going to give you the sentence, and then I will use myself as an example. Okay. Number 1, what I really need right now is blah, blah, blah. Okay, so personally, what I really need right now is a cup of tea. Oh my word, I love a good cup of tea. And I really need it. Okay, so what I really need right now is a good cup of tea. Number 2, what? So these are all what cleft sentences, okay? What annoys me most about people? Oh, this is such a good one. What annoys me most about people is when they make noises, like chewing noises, like when people eat with their mouth open, or come el chicle, como una vaca, like, oh, I can't. Nope. What really annoys me about people is when they make noises. Okay. Number 3. What frustrates me most about city living is... Okay, so what frustrates me most about city living is that there are not enough buses. Now, if you listen to my sentence, I put the important information, the dramatic information at the beginning, and then after the is, I continue like normal. So I said, what frustrates me most about city living is that there is not enough public transport. So the rest of the sentence is very normal. It doesn't change. So you have 2 clauses, 2 parts of the sentence. Okay? Right. Number 4. What I've learned this year is blah, blah, blah. So what I've learned this year, it's only March, everyone, but what I've learned this year so far is that I need to focus more on what I want in life. Okay. Number 5, and then we'll take a break. Number 5 says, the best thing. Now, you can see I didn't start with what, and I didn't start with it. It can start however you want. So this one says, the best thing about my childhood was the summer holidays, for example. The best thing about my childhood was blah, blah, blah. The summer holidays in my case. Okay, so let's just repeat those first 5. What I really need right now is... What annoys me most about people is... What frustrates me most about city living is... What I've learned this year is... The best thing about my childhood was... Okay, let's do the next 5. This is number 6. Number 6, what I really want to do right now is... Oh, guys, I'm still at work. What I really want to do right now is go to bed. It's been a long day. What I really need right now is sleep. Okay, let's do number 7. What I like most about the summer is... Okay, so what I like most about the summer is being able to go to the beach as often as I want. Number 8, all I want to do this weekend is... All I want to do this weekend is have a picnic or go for a walk in the mountains. Number 9, what I really should do tomorrow, or let's change it. Instead of really should, let's say should really. What I should really, because really is the adverb, it must go between the 2 verbs. What I should really do tomorrow is mark all my exams. Guys, I'm very bad with marking exams. I'm always late. Anyway, it's okay. Number 10, what I hate having to do every day is... Oh, that's a good one. So what I hate having to do every day is deciding what to cook, because I never know what to cook. That's the worst thing about being an adult, is having to cook every day. Right, so those are the final 5. What I really want to do right now is... What I like most about the summer is... All I want to do this weekend is... What I should really do tomorrow is... and what I hate having to do every day is. Now, in the second part, in these final 5, you might have heard me use a gerund. Now, remember the gerund, el gerundio, is el verbo con ing, to create a noun. So, for example, I said, what did I say? What I hate having to do every day is deciding to cook. So sometimes the structure can change, but I don't want you to get, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want you to get worried or frustrated or confused. Just keep it simple. So either you can put the that clause or you can put the gerund. And if you are worried, go on to our social media, comment on this podcast, and then we can help you correct your sentences if you have any doubts. Now, if you are specifically going to be doing the exam, let's look at how you can put this in your speaking and writing. Okay, right. Let's focus on speaking. Let's just do two easy ones. So if the questions are like part 1 of this exams are always about your personal preferences and your hobbies and your life, you could say, what I love most about living in the city is blah, blah, blah. What I find the most interesting is blah, blah, blah. It's 2 very easy structures that you can use immediately in giving your opinion or in having to talk with a partner. Okay? Now, in the writing, it is very similar, but you can start with it. It is blah, blah, blah that is considered the most important. So, it is education that is considered the most important. It is recycling that is considered the most important. Okay? And number 2, it is in blah, blah, blah that money should be invested. So, invest is invertir. So, it is in education that money should be invested. It is in public transport that money should be invested. Okay, so that is the help. Here is the little thing for today is just the cleft sentences. Don't make it complicated. Keep it simple. You don't have to use it in every aspect, and don't use it too much. Maybe use it once in the speaking exam and once in the writing. But definitely you need to demonstrate this grammar structure somewhere in your level for the exam. Okay? That's my advice for you guys. So if you have any questions or if you have any doubts, please let us know so that we can help you. And also, if you are still listening, don't forget that you get 20% off on our courses. So for B1, B2, C1, any of the courses that you are interested in, if you put podcast 20 or pod 20, you will get 20% off on any of our courses. Okay, right guys, I'll catch you soon and have a good week.
Si disfrutaste de este episodio y quieres llevar tu inglés al siguiente nivel, te invitamos a descubrir nuestros cursos online en theway.es, diseñados para mejorar tu fluidez y confianza en situaciones reales. Hemos ayudado a miles de personas como tú a transformar su aprendizaje. Visita ahora theway.es y realiza nuestro test de nivel interactivo de manera gratuita. Además, si necesitas una certificación oficial, también ofrecemos la opción de realizar el examen de Mid-Third cómodamente desde casa.